Hey guys, Praveen here, and today we are going to see some shadcn theming design system, how it works, what all the variables means, and where it applies. So basically, these are all the design system tokens that shadcn has. So it starts with background, foreground, muted foreground, and it goes on. So today we are going to see these basic themes. We're not going to go into the sidebar things or in the chart themings. Maybe that can be a separate video, but we are just going to see all the basic shades and colors and where they apply. So let's start with background. So the background is obviously for the background of the page. So if you have a design like this, you see this background, the HTML, the body tag, everything, it applies to the background of this page. So in our case, we have it as white. And foreground is everywhere is the text colors. So whenever we have white background, we'll have like a darker black foreground, right? In this case, I'm having slate 950 as the foreground color, and so the whenever the background is white, we'll have a foreground of 950. So in this case, I have a background of white and foreground of zinc 950 from the tailwind colors. So all shadcn uses only tailwind colors only, and shadcn uses this neutral palette, and I'm using slate palette or zinc palette, and yeah, you can use whatever you want. So yeah, so background is white, and the foreground is the text colors, all the text colors in the page. So this one, everything except for the sidebar. And then we have muted is like the here I have slate 100. So muted is basically faded colors, so that can be used for something like this card or something like this background over here. So muted is I have over slate 100 over here. This is probably the shadcn color, which is neutral colors. So this card has a muted background, and the muted foreground is the muted foreground colors to say. So here we have the muted background colors, which is neutral 100, and the neutral 500 as the muted foreground colors. So this, so muted and muted foreground of course goes together, and you can I use muted foreground in lots of places, something like wherever I need a little bit of less of the main foreground color, and I just wanted to mute it a little bit. I use for descriptions and things like that, I use the muted foreground color, which comes in handy somewhere. And next we have card and card foreground, which I can show you here. So let's go to the card color card over here. Yeah, so if you can see this card, it is a normal shadcn component, card component, and the card and the card foreground uses the these two colors. So it's pretty simple. Card is for the background color, and foreground is always for the text colors, as I said. And next we have popover and popover foreground, which is again for the popover component, which we have right over here. So popover is something that opens up. So when you click on a button, it opens up a popover component, and this can be anything like the drop down component, the text menu components, or something like this, something like these ones. So this background is always white and the text is always popover foreground. So if you go and go over here, yeah, the background color is white, and the text colors is the foreground, as I said. Text colors is 950 over here. And then we have border and input color. Border is basically all the components borders. So this border, this line border, except for the input borders like these, all the other borders, for especially for like buttons, this outline border, the according to these lines, these alert borders, everything except for inputs and forms, this border color is used everywhere. So for in this example, I'm using border color for this tabs and this card, these buttons everywhere. I'm using the border color. And input is pretty obvious. It's for the input. So if I come into the shadcn components, if you go into input, this it uses the input border color. And yeah, all the input borders, so select, text area, everything uses these input border colors. And primary is the primary color. So shadcn doesn't use any colorful primary colors. I have used blue 600, but shadcn uses just slate 950 for that, I think. But yeah, primary is like the primary color for your app. And you can, so if you can see here, I'm using orange as the primary color, so this comes everywhere, and you can use whatever you want. So primary foreground is whatever comes for the text of the primary color. So if you have orange as the background color here, you'll need some foreground color, right? So we have the primary foreground. So if I have red here, this text will be in red. So yeah, as I said, foreground is always the text color. Next we have the secondary foreground. These are mostly not used, I'll say, because it's for like the secondary button, like this secondary button colors and some other secondary things, which is mostly not used. And then we have accent and accent foreground. This is again for some, if you want to give some other color for the like if I use blue as a primary color, I can have blue 50 or like some lighter blue as the accent color, and have an accent foreground color for that also. So yeah, it's the same. And destructive, so destructive is red, so this red color is used in all the buttons, things like that. And the foreground color for this button is destructive foreground, as we see here. So destructive and destructive foreground is used here. So destructive I mostly use on all the, wherever in the application I want red, I use this destructive color. And the destructive foreground colors comes for the text on the destructive background color. And finally we have ring. Ring is, I can show you here. So whenever I do tab, it just goes through all the page right here. So I'm clicking tab, I'm clicking shift tab now. So you see the orange color, orange rounded ring over everything. So that uses this ring color. I've customized it to my orange color for this website, but by default it comes with slate 950. And that's it. That's the basic introduction of all the theming capabilities, theming variables I should say, in shadcn. And we have more things like chart colors, sidebar colors and everything, and we haven't even touched into how dark mode works for this. So yeah, that can be different video, I guess. So let me know if this helps, and let me know if you want that video. Bye bye.